In the streets of America, the air feels heavier. The political divide isn't just a debate, it's a culture war. Statistically, Americans are more polarized today than at any point since the 1860s. The United States is increasingly feeling like two different nations living in the same house. But why is the temperature rising now? And who is actually profiting from this chaos? Welcome to the escalation. To understand where we're going, we have to look at how we got here. It started with a shift in how we communicate. The public square has moved to the palm of our hands. But the digital world wasn't built for nuance. It was built for engagement. Every scroll, every click, and every share is being monetized by a complex system of algorithms. This is point 1. The echo chamber effect. Your feed is a mirror, not a window. Algorithms prioritize outrage because anger generates the most time on platform. When you only see the worst of the other side, the middle ground begins to vanish. This brings us to point 2, the business of outrage. There is a fortune to be made in fury. Cable news networks have seen ratings spikes whenever the political climate reaches a fever pitch. Conflict is entertainment, and for these networks, peace is bad for the bottom line. Then there's the fundraising. Small dollar donations are often triggered by fear and resentment. Campaigns have learned that a scare email generates more revenue than a policy email. This creates a feedback loop where candidates are incentivized to be as extreme as possible. Point 3. Structural tensions. The rules of the game are rigged for escalation. Gerrymandering has created safe seats where the only real challenge comes from the fringes during primaries. In these districts, candidates don't fear the opposing party. They fear being not partisan enough. This pushes the entire legislative body away from the center and toward the edges. But let's look at the who benefits question more deeply. Follow the money. Political consultants, ad agencies, and super PACs thrive in a state of perpetual war. The 2020 election cycle cost nearly $14 billion. 2024 is projected to be even higher. This is an industry, a conflict industry, that requires a divided populace to stay profitable. Special interest groups also benefit from the gridlock. If nothing passes, their status quo is protected. When the government is paralyzed by division, the powerful can operate with less oversight. Even foreign adversaries find value in American escalation. A divided America is a distracted America. By fanning the flames of internal discord, they weaken the nation's influence on the global stage. So, where does this leave the average citizen? Caught in the crossfire of a multi-billion-dollar machine. The escalation isn't just an accident of history. It is a product, carefully refined for maximum impact. We are being trained to see our neighbors as existential threats rather than fellow citizens. Social media platforms continue to tweak their code to ensure you stay engaged, which usually means enraged. Point 4. The decline of local news. As local papers die, only national culture wars remain. When we stop talking about local schools and roads, we start fighting over abstract national ideologies. This nationalization of politics makes every minor disagreement feel like a battle for the soul of the country. The conflict entrepreneurs, pundits, and influencers know exactly which buttons to push to get a reaction. They capitalize on our primal instinct for tribalism, turning us versus them into a lifestyle brand. But beneath the noise, the real issues often go unaddressed. Inflation, infrastructure, and healthcare. Why solve a problem when you can use it as a political weapon for the next 4 years? The incentive structure in Washington, D.C. has shifted from governing to performance. Viral clips and sound bites have become more valuable to a congressman than passing a bipartisan bill. This performance art is what keeps the donations flowing and the base energized. As we head into the next election cycle, expect the volume to get even louder. The technology is getting better at targeting your specific fears and anxieties. Deepfakes and AI-generated misinformation are the new frontiers of this escalation. It's becoming harder and harder to tell what is real and what is manufactured outrage. The ultimate cost of this escalation isn't just a lost election, it's the loss of social trust. When trust disappears, the foundation of democracy begins to crumble. Is there a way out? Or is the machine too powerful to stop at this point? Some suggest structural reforms, like ranked choice voting or ending gerrymandering. Others argue that the change must come from the bottom up, by refusing to click and refusing to hate. But for now, the conflict industry is still the most profitable business in the country. As long as outrage sells, the escalation will continue. It is simply too lucrative to stop. We must ask ourselves, who is this really for? Us, or the people counting the money? The drama of U.S. politics is a global spectacle with very real, very high stakes. Every tweet and every protest is a thread in a much larger tapestry of power. It's a system where the loudest voices get the most attention, even if they have the fewest answers. The escalation is a symptom of a deeper crisis of identity in the 21st century. But as we've seen, there are specific actors who want to keep the temperature high. They are the winners in a game where everyone else seems to be losing. Understanding the why and the who is the first step toward reclaiming the narrative. The future of the American experiment depends on whether we can see past the performance. So, in summary, technology, money, rules, and profit. These are the four pillars of escalation. It's up to us to decide if we want to keep playing the game or demand a new set of rules. The temperature is rising. The stakes couldn't be higher. Stay informed and stay critical. If you found this breakdown helpful, share it with someone who needs to see the bigger picture. Thanks for watching. Let's keep the conversation focused on what truly matters. See you in the next one.